Welcome and welcome back. In this video, I want to talk about the manga The Red Mage is Unbeatable in Sage Time, or Hazure Akamadoshi wa Kenja Time in Musou Suru, basically in Japanese, it's very close to the translation. Um, which Sage Time means it's a Japanese joke for the moment of clarity you feel after you nut. Yes, exactly. The main character's power is being insane after nutting, precisely. So if you enjoy magic girls, cat girls, magic, shred girls, then I suggest you stay a while and listen because it's pretty entertaining. Uh, well, the basics: Red Mage Sage Time, which is how I'm calling it because screw that name, honestly, is a novel series written by HOCHI that started, or at least was available for purchase, on March 3rd, 2019, through, I think on Comic Walker, if I'm not mistaken, or, those DL sites.jp. The manga series began serialization in 2021, and it's currently available on Bookwalker 2, .jp, and Amazon.jp. It is still written by Hoch, obviously, but it's not drawn by him. It's drawn by Aoyagi Takao. As usual, I'm gonna focus on the manga aspects of this work since I don't read the novel, at least not at this time, at this moment. I read a couple of other novels, which also I want to talk about, like the Dungeon Tadoya or whatever. I started in a dungeon island or something like this, which is another work that I'm following. It's pretty entertaining, too. But for this one, the specific case, I'm gonna focus on the manga. It's currently sitting on 4 volumes, with 25 chapters released so far, and this goes to bookwalker.jp as well. If you visit the website to try and purchase it's still available on volume 4. Apparently, volume 5 is in the making, but it hasn't been released yet. Each chapter sports around 26 pages. It's an average. Some have 21, 20, 24, 25, and some have 30 plus, like 32, 33. So the average is around 25, 26 pages. Some of the pages are cropped because they are too big. So basically, I think the fan subbers, or the people that scan, or even the digital versions, like they are cut so that people can see in a bunch of different devices. So it sports around 26 pages for those reasons, I think. And as previously stated, it is still sitting in chapter 25. For the plot and basically the introduction for the main character so far, the story follows the main character Leon, which is supposedly a red mage in that world, which seems to be heavily inspired by Final Fantasy, especially since aggro in the story is referred to as enmity, which is the same thing for Final Fantasy. In World of Warcraft is threat, and Guild Wars 2, I honestly don't remember, because you don't really have threat in Guild Wars 2, if I'm not mistaken. Like your character that has the most toughness in the party usually is the one that attracts the boss during the fights. That's how it works in Guild Wars. But I'm digressing anyway. Another similarity to the whole Final Fantasy thing is the class changing or swapping system. If you just basically swaps class on the fly and use whatever ability or magic he wants. So that's pretty much like very close to what you do in Final Fantasy. As soon as you get out of combat, you can like swap your weapon and change classes. But anyway, Leon is mainly a red mage during the throughout of the story. And apparently he can't progress to a new class. Even if he has all his previous base classes leveled up, he still can't swap to a new air quotes advanced class, as it states in the manga, in the story. And one day he gets expelled from his party because he's hindering their progress. Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those manga. It's that trope. It's very common at the moment, just as the whole villainous thingy, and which it has been getting a lot of traction lately. Like there are many works with the whole the villain is avoids the ending routes and etc. Yeah, it's kind of been wagging on the same, I'm not appreciated by the party, so I'm gonna start my own thing. But it's pretty okay-ish so far. Uh, However, later on he finds out that his party was making bank at his expenses and some other random like foolish things the author comes up with, basically, just to progress with the plot. He's ordered by the guild leader to follow him because he feels, how can I say, the guild leader kind of feels sorry for him, air quotes. Doesn't necessarily feel sorry, but it's more like, I'm gonna show you you're not just a nobody. It's actually a pretty cool part in the story, to be honest. The guild leader kind of shows him, look, you're not incompetent, kid. You're pretty actually good. You're a very decent adventurer with the basic skills you got so far. So, calm down and let's find a way to make things work. And during that whole day out with the guild leader, they basically, by the end of the day, they spend a night at a brothel. Yes. And there, after getting laid, yeah, that's pretty much it. He discovers that he activated the conditions to go into Sage, basically. Then his air quotes advanced class. This is on volume 1, by the way, chapters 1 through 2. Like max. It's very early, obviously. It's how it's presented. And then, long story short, he finds out that he can activate it after nutting. Yeah, so with another person. By the way, he can't, after he does his own thing. No, he has to get laid with someone. And while in Sage state, he gains improved status. It's capable of using all sorts of magic. His physical ability seems to be improved, and he can buff himself and all that stuff. Basically, he becomes absolutely overpowered, like over the top. Everything that he does. And among other things, which I'm not gonna babble about any longer, because, read it if you want. But yeah. And the story moves on. He meets some other girls, which he previously met in the guild. And he meets a princess knight called Lydia, which is basically the female lead so far. And Rita, which I really like, and I'm talking about her because her design is pretty cool. She's a strong Catwoman, like she's really shred. She's amazing. And basically, after saving Lydia, by getting laid with her, yes, exactly, they eventually decide to form a group. They decide to group up and form their own party to achieve whichever goals they establish for themselves or for the party. Lydia is a female lead, as already mentioned. Her class is Princess Knight, and she's also the daughter of the current Lord of the Land. She doesn't give off any of those annoying vibes from the usual rom-com stuff or harem-driven sort of things, with annoying girls and or annoying characters. Even even like when it's a female lead and there's a boys harem, it's usually annoying as hell. But no, she's actually really nice. She's a pretty straightforward character, and in all honesty, to me, she's a very enjoyable character because even expressing her thoughts on how it's normal for Leon, to get laid with other women, since her father has multiple wives. Her thoughts on adventuring, her thoughts on their goals, and even how she actually tells him to join a party and he's gonna make use of her name. So obviously, because of the reasons I previously mentioned, she has status, as in social status, besides like a character sheet sort of status, obviously. So she tells him, "No, look, you can make use of my renown, of my family's name, and we can, we can get access to, we gain access to, like better dungeons and stuff." So she's pretty direct and a very objective person. I actually think she's a really cool character. Rita, on the other hand, she's also pretty cool, but she's more of a can't be honest with her feelings kind of character. She's a steel warrior, which is basically a warrior specialized in defense from how she acts throughout the story, her equipment and all. And yeah, as stated, she's a Catwoman and a very strong one. She's the leader of the Blooming Flowers, which is a guild that only recruits females, only girls. And I'm not gonna get into that because just read if you want to know why. But yeah, those are her main aspects so far. In terms of art, I think that it's very standard. The art is very standard. Again, it's not amazing like some other works I mentioned in my other videos. It's not. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into that again. Like, or I'm gonna sound like a broken record every time I talk. It's not like some other artists that are already mentioned in the previous videos. It's not like something that, well, geez. But the basics are there. The proportions for the characters, they don't look deformed. The eyes are a bit too. I think the faces are a bit too manga-ish, as in like shonen oriented, even if it has more of a seinen themes because of the whole adult relations between the characters. So that's one thing. But the bodies, as I mentioned, like the author draws the artist, because it's a different artist, as I mentioned in the beginning. He draws like he's really good at the whole equipment, the bodies, the monsters are pretty cool looking. The cities are very nice too, like they're well designed so far, especially the new city that they're visiting. So I think it does the job. It's not something memorable, but at the same time, it's not extremely cartoonish or extremely basic to the point that you'd think you're reading Crayon Shinchan. No, it's not that. And in conclusion, I think that this one sits at the same aspect as a previously mentioned work, which is like I recommend if you're looking for something for entertainment while you wait on other works. It's not something that immediately as there's a new chapter I would pick up first. I would prioritize. Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, but it's pretty good. I think it serves the purpose of being a manga, Yeah, I think it serves the purpose of well, I already checked I don't know. Whatever it is that people are checking, that you're reading, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu, Goblin Slayer, anything that you're reading that has more, let's say, weight in your queue, this would sit in between, in my opinion. But I think it's pretty good. It's definitely funny and readable. While you're waiting for other works. So that's pretty much it.